Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Depending on where you are in this world, God bless you. This is Gloria White coming to you from Utah, USA. Today we're going to continue in the book of Zechariah, and we are in chapter 10. Ask ye of the Lord rain in the time of the latter rain or the spring rain. So the Lord shall make bright or flashing clouds, and give them showers of rain, to every one grass in the field. For the idols or the teraphim have spoken vanity or delusion, and the diviners have seen a lie, and have told false dreams. They comfort in vain. Therefore they went their way as a flock, or they were wandering around, and they were troubled or in trouble, because there was no shepherd. Mine anger was kindled against the shepherds, and I punished the goats. For the Lord of hosts has visited his flock, the house of Judah, and hath made them as his goodly, or his royal or majestic horse in the battle. Out of him comes forth, the corner, out of him the nail or the tent peg, out of him the battle bow, out of him every oppressor, and this is a ruler or despot together. And they shall be as mighty men, which tread down their enemies in the mire of the streets in the battle. And they shall fight, because the Lord is with them, and the riders on horses shall be confounded, or put to shame. And I will strengthen the house of Judah, and I will save the house of Joseph, and I will bring them again to place them. For I have mercy upon them, and they shall be as though I had not cast them off. For I am the Lord their God, and will hear them. And they of Ephraim shall be as a mighty man, and their heart shall rejoice as through wine. Yea, their children shall see it, and be glad. Their heart shall rejoice in the Lord. I will hiss or whistle for them, and gather them, for I have redeemed them, and they shall increase as they have increased. And I will sow them among the people, and they shall remember me in far countries, and they shall live with their children, and turn again, or turn back. And I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt, and gather them out of Assyria. And I will bring them into the land of Gilead, Lebanon, and place shall not be found for them. And there is until no more room is found for them. And he shall pass through the sea with affliction, and shall smite the waves in the sea. And all the deeps of the river, the Euphrates, shall dry up, and the pride of Assyria shall be brought down, and the scepter of Egypt shall depart away. And I will strengthen them in the Lord, and they shall walk up and down in his name, saith the Lord. Chapter 11. Open thy doors, O Lebanon, that the fire may devour thy cedars. Howl, fir tree, for the cedar is fallen, because the mighty are spoiled. Howl, O ye oaks of Bashan, for the forest of the vintage is come down. There is a voice of the howling of the shepherds, for their glory is spoiled or in ruins, and a voice of the roaring of young lions, for the pride of Jordan is spoiled, or it's in ruins. Thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, or for the slaughter, whose possessors or owners slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not. For I will no more pity the inhabitants of the land, saith the Lord. But lo, I will deliver the men every one into his neighbor's hand, and into the hand of his king. And they shall smite the land, and out of their hand I will not deliver them. And I will feed the flock, O slaughter, or here, this I want to, for slaughter, even you, or in particular the poor, O poor of the flock. And I took unto me 2 staves, or 2 staffs. The one I called beauty, which is grace, and the other I called bands, or is unity, and I fed the flock. 3 shepherds also I cut off in 1 month, and my soul loathed them, and their soul also abhorred me. Then said I will not feed you. That dieth, let it die, and that is cut off, or to be cut off, let it be cut off, and let the rest eat every one the flesh of another. And I took my staff, even beauty or grace, and cut it asunder, that I might break my covenant which I had made with all the people. And it was broken in that day. And so the poor of the flock that waited upon me knew that it was the word of the Lord. Now verses 12 and 13 both are unfulfilled prophecy. Verse 12. And I said unto them, if ye think good, give me my price. Or if you think it's good, pay me. And if not, forbear. So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver. And the Lord said, verse 13, and the Lord said unto me, cast it unto the potter, a goodly price that I was prized, or this is that princely price that was valued at them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them to the potter in the house of the Lord. Then I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, or unity, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. And the Lord said unto me, take unto ye yet the instruments, or the utensils of a foolish shepherd, implements. For lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land, which shall not visit those that be cut off, neither shall he seek the young one, nor heal that is broken, nor feed that standeth still. But he shall eat the flesh of the fat, and tear their claws or hooves in pieces. Woe to the idle shepherd, or the worthless shepherd, that leaveth the flock. The sword shall be upon his arm, or against his arm, and upon or against his right eye. His arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened or blinded. Verse 12. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formed the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling or drunkenness and reeling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day I will make Jerusalem a burdensome, or a very heavy stone for all people. All that burden themselves, or would heave it away, with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, or confusion, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people, or the peoples, with blindness. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of hosts, their God. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like an hearth of fire among the wood, or as like a fire pan in the wood pile, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf, and they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left, and Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And verse 10 is an unfulfilled prophecy. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him, as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadad Rimmon, and in the valley of Megiddon. And the land shall mourn, every family apart. And this part is by itself. And the land shall mourn, every family apart or by itself. The family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart. The family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart. The family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart. The family of Shimei apart, and their wives apart. All the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart. Verse 13. In that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land, or depart out of the land. And it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of the Lord. And his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesieth. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophet shall be ashamed every one of his vision when he hath prophesied. Neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive, or a robe of coarse hair. But he shall say, I am no prophet, I am no husbandman, for man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. And one shall say unto him, What are these wounds in thine hands? Then he shall answer, Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. Verse 7 is an unfulfilled prophecy. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, and the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, The Lord is my God. And as always, our God is so good. He's talking here. Oh my goodness. You know, smiting the shepherd. And as always, I love you.